here's some key things in terms of what you should do as we enter into a data restrictive world. And that's a very, I can't believe I'm saying data restrictive, because you asked me a few years ago, I would have said, we're in a data rich world. We're headed into a world where there's going to be limitations. I think the first thing is assess data usage and dependency. We're calling for a quote unquote data audit. This would mean you work with your IT team to figure out how you're using first party data. Where's the sources of anonymous first party data coming from? Is it coming from Apple devices, from Android devices, and what are the limitations there? Second is assess how you're using third party data. And this could mean I'm using it as an advertiser. I may be using it for attribution measurement. Or I may be using it for targeting and audience building and syndication. So have a document how you're using it, and then what will be the limitations once all of these data deprecation buckets get further tightened. Second is develop a data deprecation roadmap. Now this roadmap would be specifically tailored to your organization, and that would mean you're building out within each functional area inside of marketing, how is the data being used, and what are some tests you're doing to remove the organization's dependency on restrictive data in a new world where data is a little bit more deprived. And I think that enables you to create really interesting tests and ideate and be innovative within this world of data that you may not have access to. Benchmark marketing efficiency using current measurement approaches. I think this is really important if we're talking about data deprecation and how it impacts marketing and media measurement. I would say benchmark what you're doing now. So if you're using really sophisticated approach at the campaign level, make sure you document those benchmarks. And as you start to test new and innovative ways to measure campaign efficacy, you can analyze the future state of what you're going to be doing or your current state without using data that's going to not be available in the future against your past performance indicators to see if there's a difference. And then from there, you can determine if the difference is because you just don't have the data, or because maybe you just didn't even need that data in the past. You're doing better now with data with restrictions in certain accessibility points of data. Evaluate your marketing measurement partner's approach to campaign level type measurement. I want to be very clear here. Third-party data affects very tactical level campaign measurement if you're using attribution data, right? So if you're working with a partner that's currently doing that, you need to start asking them, what's the current approach specifically? Do you use third-party data? How are restrictions like cookie deletion, and also restrictions when it comes to Apple IDFA with their recent announcement of their intention to start pushing people, asking users if they want to opt out for tracking purposes. How will that affect that type of measurement? And then with your more strategic level models or your unified models, you really want to inquire how data deprecation impacts, if at all, aggregate level models. Because if the two are intertwined, where you're measuring at a campaign level using third-party cookie or other types of data that are granular, that are going to be restrictive, that may have a downstream effect on your aggregate level data. So you want to understand the map of how data will be affected. And then finally, rethink your measurement approaches considering data availability. I would start researching on different approaches of measurability from a day-to-day basis. This could be looking at scaling a few tests on a quarterly level to extrapolate performance across your entire mix. It could be using more advanced type of uplift models or strategic model, or very tactical level statistically driven models using different types of data that you can gain access to. So start rethinking with your measurement or marketing analytics partner different ways you can effectively measure your campaigns and your tactics. I firmly believe we're not going back to last touch. I don't. I think marketers have gotten very smart about using statistics to calibrate their metrics. And I don't think we're going back to a world where we're using last touch. I think what's going to happen is marketers are going to look towards their measurement partners or their agency partners and say, hey, we know there's a better way to measure this, so let's think about what those ways are.